Tashtilik, welcome to Tibet This Week, a weekly news on Tibet, His Holiness the Dalai Lama and the Central Tibetan Administration. Let us look at today's headlines. His Holiness the Dalai Lama reaffirms commitment to lead disciples for the next 10 to 20 years. Rights group reports Tibetans subjected to discrimination amid massive COVID protest against the government. China sentences a Tibetan monk to 2.5 years in prison. All India Tibet support groups vow to pursue recognition for CTA as the legitimate representative of all Tibetans. United Nations Congressional Executive Commission on China chairs seek United Nations investigation on forced family separations in Tibet. The Tibetan Parliament in exile concludes Tibet Advocacy program in Europe. The Australian All-Party Parliamentary Group for Tibet meets to outline action plans for Tibet. Representative Sonam Frasi concludes advocacy visit to the Baltic states. Tibetans and Taiwanese gather to find a common ground. This Wednesday, His Holiness the Dalai Lama was offered prayers for long life by Drepung Khomang Monastery and the Lhande Chudul Malam Chemo Trust. His Holiness requested his devotees to keep up their tradition of preserving the Buddha's teachings through study and practice and assured his leadership for the next 10 to 20 years. The temple that day saw a congregation of about 4,500 devotees. As reports of the Chinese Communist Party leaders facing massive protest by the people against the government's zero-COVID policy began to surface, the Tibetan Center for Human Rights and Democracy reported discriminatory treatment and arbitrary detention of Tibetans in Tibet in the last 3 months. Following the protest by Tibetans and Chinese workers on 26 October this year against prolonged pandemic lockdown in Chakrong neighborhood in Tibet's capital Lhasa, 200 protesters were reportedly detained and held in a building owned by the Government Housing Department Authority. Among the detainees were 47 Tibetans, mostly workers from other parts of Tibet. The Tibetan Center for Human Rights and Democracy reported a clear instance of official discrimination where the Chinese protesters were given lighter punishment in the form of denial of rent and other government help for breaking the law on the crime of protesting, and they were detained only for a day and released to return to their respective hometowns, whereas Tibetan protesters were held for 14 days in one-room cells, not allowed to contact fellow detainees, and fed only once a day and put under intense interrogation sessions. Calling for the immediate and unconditional release of all Tibetans unjustly detained for criticizing the Chinese government's failed zero-COVID policy, the Tibetan Center for Human Rights and Democracy also reported disproportionate restrictions on Tibetan cyberspace, comparing the enforcement of zero-COVID policy in the month of April in Shanghai and in August in central Tibet. Lobsang Chömpel, a Tibetan monk from Kirti Monastery in Ngaba, was sentenced to 2.5 years in prison by the Chinese authorities last month, that is October 2022. According to the source, the Chinese authorities arrested him in the summer this year and held him in custody until he was sentenced in October. Currently, the status of his well-being is unknown. In the year 2011, Lobsang Chömpel was arrested for resisting and protesting against the patriotic education campaign or legal education that the Chinese authority had forced on the monks, along with the indefinite ban on the normal religious activities at the monastery. As part of the so-called patriotic education session, the Tibetans were forced to denounce His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Lobsang Chömpel hails from Ngaba Chakok Chuglegap in the traditional province of Amdo. His younger brother Lobsang, a monk at Kirti Monastery, is also said to have been previously imprisoned by the Chinese police. The 7th All India Tibet Support Groups Conference adopted declarations to pursue India's recognition of the Central Tibetan Administration as the legitimate representative of Tibetans worldwide, while providing complete support to Central Tibetan Administration's middle-way approach in resolving the Sino-Tibetan conflict. Organized by the Core Group for Tibetan Cause India and facilitated by Indo-Tibet Coordination Office, the conference was held in Delhi on Monday this week for 2 days. The delegates also petitioned to denounce China's intervention in the reincarnation of Tibetan tulkus and called for strengthened political support in defending the identity of Tibetan people. Sikyong Pembatsiring of the Central Tibetan Administration and the Speaker of the Tibetan Parliament in Exile, Khenpo Sonam Tempel, attended the inaugural and closing sessions of the conference respectively. Sikyong and the Speaker accentuated the need to work together strategically to contain China's growing power and aggression. The conference saw renowned author Dr. Nirja Madhav, former Vice-Chancellor of Himachal Pradesh Central University Dr. K.C. Agnihotri, Secretary of Department of Information and International Relations Central Tibetan Administration Karma Ching, National President of India Tibet Friendship Society Dr. Anand Kumar, Honorable Member of Parliament and Convener of All-Party Indian Parliamentary Forum for Tibet Shri Sujit Kumar, Patron of Bharat Tibetan Sahyog Manch Shri Indresh Kumar, and National Convener Core Group for Tibetan Cause India Shri Rinchen Kanto Kirme. More than 200 members of Tibet support groups from India attended the conference, where the participants deliberated on India's role in Sino-Tibet conflict, the rights and freedom of Tibetans in Tibet, the significance of Tibet's ecology, and discussed ways to strategize and strengthen the functioning and collaboration of Tibet support groups in India. Sikyong Pembatsiring also attended and addressed the closing ceremony of the two-day annual meeting of Sambodha school heads this week in Dharamshala. In his address, Sikyong reiterated the 16th Kashak's endeavor of consolidating small-strength schools to overcome the sustenance concerns of these schools because of the declining number of Tibetan children in exile. The chair and the co-chair of the bipartisan and bicameral United States Congressional Executive Commission on China, Senator Jeff Merkley and Representative Jim McGovern, released a letter to Volker Turk, the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights, this Wednesday, asking for a United Nations investigation of children being forcibly separated from the families in Tibet. Citing the 2021 report by the Tibet Action Institute, letter highlighted the coercive nature of boarding school and preschool systems in Tibet, serving Chinese Communist Party's goal of sinicizing Tibetans. The Tibet Advocacy Program of the Tibetan Parliament in Exile delegation to the Czech Republic, Lithuania, Sweden, and the Netherlands concluded. This week, the Tibetan parliamentary delegation, led by parliamentarian Temba Yerpel, consisting of parliamentarian Yudun Ogatsang and parliamentarian Wangdu Doje, met with Rigzin Chodron Genkang, representative of Office of Tibet Brussels, and Wangpo Tethong, Europe Executive Director of International Campaign for Tibet. And they had an interactive discussions on Tibet advocacy campaign to be carried out in Amsterdam. The delegation reached out to the Senior Policy Officer of the Multilateral Organizations and Human Rights Department, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and the Senior Policy Officer, China Desk, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and briefed them in detail on the conditions of Tibetans as a result of Chinese authorities' imposition of hardline policies. The delegation also participated in the debate session topic How Tibet Matters to Europe and Holland, organized by the International Campaign for Tibet Europe, and met with the Tibetan community residing in Holland. The Australian All-Party Parliamentary Group for Tibet met this week to discuss and chalk out action plans for Tibet on the side of ongoing spring session of Australian Parliament. The co-chair of the Australian All-Party Parliamentary Group for Tibet, Warren Enns, chaired the meeting, joined by the co-chair of the group, Susan Templeman, Janet Rice, Stephen Bates, and Get Kearney. A wide range of issues was discussed at the meeting, including the proposed visit of the Australian parliamentary delegation to Dharamshala. Representative Kama Singye, a member of Tibetan Parliament, Tenzin Phunzo Doring, Executive Officer of Australia Tibet Council, Zoe Bedford, the President of the National Federation of Tibetan Communities Association, Australia, Gesang Tsering, and Secretary Lhawang Gebo from the Office of Tibet, Canberra, participated in the meeting. Following advocacy events in Lithuania with the Tibetan parliamentary delegation consisting of parliamentarians Temba Yerpel, Yudun Ogatsang, and Wangdu Doje, Representative Sonam Frasi further continued Tibet advocacy in the two other Baltic countries in the region last week. The representative had meetings with government officials, parliamentarians, journalists, scholars and supporters in Riga and Tallinn, drawing attention to long-standing grievances of violation of religious freedom in Tibet, the imminent threat of Communist Chinese government's interference in the process of reincarnation of Tibetan lamas, increasing threat of environmental situation on Tibetan plateau to more recent emerging concerns of mass DNA collection, widespread colonial-style boarding schools, in addition to garnering international recognition that Tibet was never a part of China. The visit this time have drawn out a confirmed plan for a visit of the Baltic Parliamentarian delegation to the Central Tibetan administration in Dharamshala in the coming year. In Latvia, Representative Sonam Frasi briefed officials of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Latvian parliamentarians on the current situation in Tibet and discussed parliamentary support for Tibet, including a visit to Baltic Parliamentarian delegation to Dharamshala next year. Representative also met the Estonian government's Foreign Minister Urmas Reinsalu and Deputy Chairman of the National Defense Committee, members of Parliament, journalists and Tibet supporters. Last Sunday, Tibetans and Taiwanese in TPiE gathered to find a common ground. The conference, titled Finding a Common Ground, focused on discussing how the democracies in Taiwan and exiled Tibetan community could influence China in the future. Writer Lu Hui-chuan, joined by Representative Gesang Gyaltsen Bawa, Office of Tibet, Taiwan, President of Tibetan Associations Tashi Tsiring, Professor Tsen Chen-yon, introduced the aim of the conference and delivered the inaugural address. Professor Sha Ming, Professor Ming Chu Tren, researcher Shripang Mingfo, former legislative member Shu Paiti, spoke on awareness of democracy, recent regional election results of Taiwan and its possible influence on relations between China and Taiwan, and on political developments in Hong Kong. That is all for this week's News on Tibet. See you next week. Thank you.